Richard Ingersoll, and I'm a professor of education and sociology at the University of Pennsylvania. And I do research, and have been over the last 20 years, on teachers in the teaching occupation, elementary, secondary teaching. And in particular, one thing I've focused on is teacher turnover, teachers departing from, leaving their schools. How high is it? Which types of teachers? Which types of schools? And why is it? So I'm just going to talk for a few minutes here about what the data, the research tell us about those questions. First of all, teaching is a very, very large occupation. There's almost 4 million teachers, and it's a relatively high turnover quit line of work. So teachers quit at about double the rate of professors. Teachers quit, their quit rates are even a little higher than nurses. There's also differences in turnover rates amongst different types of teachers. Minority teachers in particular have higher turnover rates than do white non-minority teachers. But more importantly, there's huge differences in teacher turnover between different types of schools. Some schools, particularly urban low-income schools, have over double the rates of teacher turnover, teacher departures in any given year than do, say, more affluent suburban schools. Why is this? Why is this? Why do some schools have such higher rates? And what we find is it's very much tied to the working conditions. How attractive and amenable and pleasant or unpleasant is the job in those particular settings? And what we find out is the main factor is not salaries. It's things like how much autonomy and discretion do teachers have in their classrooms. Is the district a very top-down place with a very standardized, inflexible set curriculum? Or can teachers, do they have the leeway and discretion to bend it a little? And we find that's one of the leading correlates in our statistical analyses, one of the leading factors tied to the departure rates of teachers. It particularly is tied to the high rates of minority teachers. Minority teachers are disproportionately employed in large urban low-income school districts. And those places have higher teacher turnover rates in general, and one of the main factors is that they often are very top-down. The curriculum is very standardized, and it's kind of a command and control environment. There may be advantages to managing a large urban district in that manner, but one of the disadvantages is it drives out teachers, and it often drives out your best and brightest teachers first. Another issue, another factor behind turnover rates is the issue of support. Is it an environment where you're on your own, which is particularly tough for beginning teachers? Or is it a place where there's support and there's backup and there's veteran teachers you can go to for help and mentoring? Or are you on your own? What's called the old sink or swim system. You get the keys to your classroom, principal gives you the keys, gives you a pat in the back, and that's it, you're on your own. Versus a system where, particularly the beginning teachers, again, are provided support. They're given help to sort of learn the ropes and first survive and then succeed in that school. So another big factor behind the magnitude of the turnover rates in any given school is this issue of support for teachers. Finally, another big factor is the issue of voice. How much say do teachers have in a building into the key decisions that directly impact their jobs and how they teach and what they do? And again, schools vary dramatically from a very top-down model where the principal is something of the dictator, and that's the extreme case, where teachers are really told what to do and have little say, all the way over something where there's collective, school-wide, collegial decision-making. This comes up. Suppose there's some new problem in the school with student discipline. Is that something where the faculty and the administration get together and say, how can we fix this problem? 7 heads are better than 1. Or is this something where the principal and the vice principal make a decision, and this is quite efficiently in a sense and very quick, and then communicate that to the faculty to carry it out? And what we find in the data is school buildings in which teachers have far more input, they have far better retention of teachers. And so what the research tells us is that there's very large differences across schools in the teacher turnover rates. However, it's very much tied to the way these places are managed, the way they're run, the way teachers are treated.